Welcome guys to another video on labor economics. In this video, we will learn about labor demand in the long run. In the previous video, we learned about labor demand in the short run. And the optimal labor demand in the short run is the level that marginal revenue product of labor is equal to the wage rate. Or in another case, marginal product of labor is equal to the real wage rate. And in the short run, we assume that capital is fixed. In order to promote our profit level, we only had one option to change our labor as an input because we couldn't change the capital. But the case in the long run is different because in the long run, both labor and capital can be varied. We can change both of them. So how we can adjust the optimal labor demand in the long run? In the long run, as we know that both labor and capital can be changed, so the optimal labor demand in the long run, we can find out based on this formula. Because in the previous video, when we talked about the profit maximization condition based on the demand for the input, we have learned that the marginal revenue product of input should be equal to the marginal expense of that input. And marginal revenue product of input is equal to marginal product of input multiplied by price. And in the case of labor, marginal expense is equal to wage rate. And in the case of capital, marginal expense is the cost of capital. So this formula, marginal revenue product of input equal to marginal expense of input, can be further explained by these two equations. Marginal product of labor multiplied by price, which is equal to marginal revenue product of labor, is equal to W or wage rate, which is equal to marginal expense of labor for the labor demand. For the capital, marginal revenue product of capital is equal to marginal product of capital multiplied by price, and marginal expense of capital is equal to the cost of capital. So from these two expressions, we can isolate the P or the price. When we isolate the price level from this expression, then we divide both sides by the MPL. Then P will be equal to W over MPL. Price is equal to the ratio of wage rate over marginal product of labor. And also, from this expression, when we isolate the P, we divide both sides by marginal product of capital, then the P will be cost of capital over marginal product of capital. As we know, in this expression, the left side is the same price, then the right side can be the same as well. So as a result, we will have this expression, which is the ratio of wage rate over marginal product of labor is equal to the ratio of cost of capital over marginal product of capital. And this is the ratio of wage over marginal product of capital is equal to the marginal cost of producing an extra unit of output using labor. And this one, C over MPK, is equal to the marginal cost of producing an extra unit of output using capital. So overall, when we are operating in the perfectly competitive market, we know that the profit maximization condition is equal to this expression. Marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost and should be equal to price. This is the profit maximization condition in the perfect competitive market. So here, this too is the marginal cost. When we produce an extra unit of output using labor, an extra unit of output using capital, because both of them, the marginal cost, these two marginal costs should be equal. Why? Because when this two marginal cost is not equal, so we cannot satisfy this condition of profit maximization optimization. So in the long run, the optimal demand for the labor should sit at the level that the marginal cost of producing an extra unit of output using labor should be equal to the marginal cost of producing an extra unit of output using capital, because both of them is equal to the price. When this equality does not hold, it means one of them is not equal to the price. So this equation or this equality will not hold. So why this is the case for the profit maximization condition? What is the reason? The reason is that to maximize profit, a firm must produce its choosing level of output in the least cost manner, because the firm maximizes its profit subject to cost minimization. So as long as a firm can produce more output by using one input cheaply, as long as the firm can expand output more cheaply using one input than the other one, so it cannot be a least cost manner approach of producing output. Why? Because if you can produce one extra unit of output using labor cheaper than using capital, it means you're not satisfying this equality. For example, if you produce one more output level by using capital with $12, it means the marginal cost of that output with using capital is $12. How much is $12? Let me use another color of chalk with $12. But if you use labor and produce then extra unit of output with labor, the cost of labor would be $10. The cost of labor would be $10. So what would you do? So now you will reduce your output labor by reducing one unit of capital to get rid of this $12 cost. Then what will you do? You will substitute the capital with labor. It means instead of that unit of capital, you will hire one unit of labor, because one unit of labor can produce that output with $10, $2 cheaper. It means now you can produce one extra unit of output with $2 cheaper with labor than using capital for producing that extra unit of output. And also, when this equality does not hold, it means there is a problem with this equality. Either the price is not equal to this one or the price is not equal to this one. So again, the profit maximization condition will not hold. So overall, as a conclusion, when you want to maximize your profit in the long run, you should satisfy this condition, because these two are the marginal cost. These two are the marginal cost, either W over MPL or C over MPK, both of them the marginal cost. So these two marginal costs should be equal in order to minimize your costs. Because one of the conditions for maximizing your profit level in the long run is to minimize your costs, that you can produce with least cost manner your output. If you produce your output by least cost manner approach, that is exactly the point that you maximize your output level. So keep in mind that even if you try to establish your own firm you have to think about this equality for maximizing your profit for the long run. I hope now the concepts of labor demand in the long run would be clear for you and you clearly understand these concepts. In order to enjoy my other videos, so I request you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel and also turn on that small notification bell in order to notify for the next videos to enjoy the labor economics courses. And also I will produce videos related to microeconomics, macroeconomics, and other enjoyable field of economics in the future. See you next time.